Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to Inventory Management Portal. This is Ali Raza and today I'm going to tell you about user authentication and we'll also discuss about validation as well. So let's start and have a look what we have today. First of all, we have to create a procedure that fetch the login details with respect to the user and all the things that are required for login, okay, or for authentication. For that purpose, let us go to the PHP myadmin, and here we specify a stored procedure today. Our database name is inventory DB, and let's go to the SQL and let's open the roles table, let's open the users table and the columns too, so that we can get the complete details. Let me zoom in. Okay, now delimiter // delimiter semicolon. This is the syntax for creating stored procedures. We have already discussed. Create procedure st underscore get login details, let's say, and two things we require or we pass here, that is user varchar 30. Okay, let's check what are the columns data type length we have inside this. So you see here we have username 40 with 40 length, and the password we haven't specified password here. Okay, so we have to add a password column inside this particular table also. So let's edit and add here a column for password as well. So alter table, and the table name should be users, add, and the column name should be u underscore password. That should be varchar. That it is not a good practice to add password in a plain text. You should encrypt your password so that nobody can access that, but right now I'm making it simple. You can use MD5 algorithm to store the password in an encrypted format. Okay, so let's say password should not be more than 20, so or let's take it 30 maximum and not null. Now let's execute this query. Okay, now my users table can have a password column too. Okay, let's go back to the what can you say, data. If we select users, and now you can see I have users, but the password is missing here. Okay, so we have to update the password for every user, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 by default. So let's do that here. Sorry for that, I am adjusting the views for you to understand. So update users, set u underscore password, that is this one, equals to 1 2 3 4 5 right now, and I wanted to update all users password to this, right? So click on the go button, 2 rows affected. Now my password column is also not null. One more thing that we have to specify, we have to change the stored procedure that we have created for that user. So let's go and update the stored procedure, insert user, and here you see we have this. Let me minimize it a little bit. Okay, now so we have the column names. Now we have another column name here, that is password, and we have to add here, sorry, insert into this, and then here you specify pass. So where is this pass? We have to add it parameter at this point. We have to add a parameter here, that is the pass parameter, that should be varchar, length should be 30. Okay, So changed everything, column added, parameter added, okay, and click go. Okay, so you can see it's updated now, and you see here it is first dropped, and now it is updated. If you wanted to check it again, let's click on the users, insert users, and you see now we have the updated query. Let's close this and go back. So this is my login stored procedure. So I will pass my username and I will pass my password. Okay, that was 30 f length and it was 40. So these are the two things that I need to pass, and one thing, let's say it should make UN, because that was the keyword. The user was the keyword for MySQL. Now begin and end, and then come inside and right here select from the name of the table is users, u inner join roles are on r dot role id is equals to u dot role id. Why I have done this, let me show you this. R dot id as role id, comma, and r dot name as role of the user. And what else I need? I need the name of the user, and I think I haven't stored that too. So you see how planning is required. So we have to add a column that should be the username, that should be the password. So here I have to specify right now. Let's add first a new column inside the table, the username. U underscore name is the original name, guys. So we have to add here, select, alter table, add u underscore username, that should be varchar 30 and not null, and let's update it. Okay, it gives me error. What's the problem? Alter table, I have forgot the name of the table. Alter table, name of the table, and then click go. My command completed successfully. Let's go to the SQL, and update query should be run. Update table name is user, and set, and what I wanted to update, u underscore username equals to I have two data. Let me click. So you can see I have Ali and Bilal. So when ID is equals to 1, then username should be Ali. Okay, so come here and set username to Ali, where u underscore id is equals to 1. Execute. Okay, what's the problem now? Update. The table should not be there. Update users and set the data. Commands completed successfully. Now on ID 2 we have Bilal, so let's add Bilal. Now go. Now we are finally updated with respect to the data and with respect to the columns inside our table. So now username is also 30, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to get all the records where u dot user ID or username, we have to specify here username equals to un and password, or you can say u dot password, u underscore password and that is u underscore username, u underscore password is equals to password. Okay, so these are the things that we have to specify. Now if you let's copy this query and first write here, let's copy this, right click, open link in new tab. Let me show you whether this query works or not. So when I pass here, okay, when I pass here username Ali and the password 12345, let's execute this query. What is the result? You see what I get. I get the role because I have selected only 2 columns. Now let us add comma u dot name, that's the original name, as name. That's it. So I need the name and I need the user ID as well. So u dot uid as user ID. That's it. Now when I click on the go button, you see you get 4 things now. Based on the username and the password, I'll get the original data of from both the tables with the help of this queries, right? So that means this query is perfect. What I can do, I can simply come here and create this stored procedure, but these 2 columns should also be added. Copy this one, close this and paste it here. Remove this. Now 4 columns. This is one-time procedure, guys, and whenever now you wanted to get when the first time the user logs in, we'll get the role of that user, we'll get the original name of the user, and we'll get the user ID, and we'll store these details into sessions so that we can use it throughout the application. So that's my stored procedure, get login details. We have executed in the SQL also. Let's execute this. Commands completed successfully. Now get logins. Let us verify it here as well. Call st underscore get login details. Okay, round bracket open close. First the username Ali, the password is 12345. Let's verify whether it is working or not. You see what I get the same result. If I change here Bilal and click on the go button, see what I get. So whatever the username and whatever the password the user will provide on the login page, we'll call then this procedure to return the records and execute the data and process the data. Now the next step is this page. That's our login authentication page, guys. Let me show you this page once again. You see, let me zoom out the page. Now, so you see we have a username, we have a password, and we have a login button. So when we click the login button, the data should be submitted somewhere. Okay, let's come dive into the code. You see here we have the form applied in this login. So what's the first step? I wanted to get the script name. By the way, script name is not required when you make this action empty. That means that there is no script. But if you wish to specify the script, then what you can do, you can simply specify the PHP environment variable that helps you to get the script name when you are dealing with the form. Okay, so in order to get the script name, let me write here PHP and write here echo, and there is a variable $_server. It's an environment variable, and you see you have to specify PHP underscore self. This gives me the current execution script name, that is authenticate.php. But there is a problem. The hackers can exploit this thing and override these settings. So what we can do, we can simply specify a function in PHP, that is HTML special characters, this one, and put this inside this. So what will happen if somebody tries to enter tag wise data or in the URL? Let me show you. If somebody tries to enter here something like this, tags, okay, or another thing, then this data will then converted into the representations that these tags have. So this is the function that is used for conversion of these type of tags into non executable characters. I hope you have understood this. So HTML special characters, and then this will return you the page name, that is authenticate.php dynamically on runtime, and the method we are using, that is post. One thing, okay, but if you ignore it, you can just leave it blank. That's another method, but it is more secure. This one is more secure. Now let's add PHP here, and what I wanted to check first of all, when I click on the submit button, what I am getting, let me show you. So $username equals to $_post, and here we can specify the name of the user, that is this, and paste. And for password we have pass text, so pass. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to echo the result, just showing you what are the problems still we have. So echo $password save. Let's execute the page. You can see it is saying that undefined index. Yeah, right now just ignore it. Let's add something. You can see I got the results. That means that the data is coming on the PHP page when we click. So the first thing that we wanted to do is if is set and $_post, and the button name is submit button, whether the button is clicked or not. If the button is clicked, then come inside and do the desired actions. Okay, so let's remove this code. Step by step I am proceeding. I hope you are getting what I am trying to do. So first of all, we have sent the data on the same page. Save it, go to the page and refresh it, continue. Okay, now you can see no errors are coming. You see now the data is coming perfectly. When I click, then the data is available. But one thing that is horrible here is, let's say somebody tries to enter something like this, and somebody tries to enter spaces and then login. You see the data and the spaces. And one more thing that I must show you, if somebody tries to enter something like this, so these are the vulnerable things that might impact your web application. Let us check what is the output. You see it applied, so h1 tag is applying. So I wanted to stop this thing. For that purpose, I have created a page with the name validate. Let me show you that, validate.php, and what I have done in that, let me show you. In this PHP page, I have created a function with the name validate, and this function is accepting one input. And what I have done, to avoid the spaces or the extra spaces that somebody has given to you, I use the trim function of PHP to avoid the slashes. Let's say if somebody tries to enter, let's say ABC/DEF, or some path related thing, and you see things are coming. So HTML was executed, script can be executed. Let me write here script. So I wanted to ignore these things so that my PHP is will be strong, or my web application will become strong. Script alert, and somebody tries to enter here, you are hacked, let's say, and password login. You see that script executed, and I don't want this script to execute. So that's why I use these slashes, and I have used a function that I have used in the a little bit before. So HTML special characters will be converted into their code representations, and then your input is finally returned when you call this function. So validate. So what we can do now, include this validate here. So include, you can also create this file by yourself. I have created two. So validate.php, save it. Now before getting this, we have to specify here validate function, and you see it asks for input. Okay, and we have another validate and validate. Okay, now let us save this and check this. refreshed. Now if I try to enter h1 close, hello, and something like this, you see the code is not applied. That is the benefit of all these validations that I have applied. Now the next step is after validation of the text, we can specify the PHP filters also. Let me show you how. Let's say $username, and I wanted to make it more perfect. So what I can check first, if empty, and you can specify your username, and you can make here not. So if the username is not empty, that means the variable is not empty, and $password is not, sorry, you can write here something like this, empty, and close this. So if both username and password are not empty, then come inside and display the result. Otherwise, let's add here a global variable. Let's say $error equals to blank, and here we can specify $error equals to enter username or password. So, okay, so that's a message that I have just entered. So what will happen if the text boxes, if the text boxes are empty, then this message will be displayed, enter username and password, because if both are not empty, then so enter username and password. You can do separate condition on this. Okay, now the next step is to call this error message somewhere inside the div. So let's add here label close, and after this let's add a PHP marker, because we have to execute PHP. If is set, and specify here $error. Then what we wanted to do, we wanted to display the error, so echo $error. That's it. Let's check what's the output of this. Okay, error is appearing. Okay, yes, if is set should be something like this, if is set, and now save. Now let's check what's the output. Okay, you see no data is coming, but the output is also not coming. Okay, if I remove the if not empty, let's check it like this and save. Come here, refresh, login. Okay, so the error is not displaying, but the things are working. You see that the username and password are not displaying. Let us check some data inside this. You can see the data is added. That means that if they are not empty, then it is working, otherwise it is not working. Hope you have understood this, but we'll look at this. We also tackle this also after some time, but hopefully you have understood how to pass your data and how to bring your data till this point. One more validation that you can apply here is $. You have to check what is the function. So $_server, and you can specify here method. What is the method of the, you can say what is the method via which the data you have received. So you can check that also inside your form. So request method, you have to specify request_method. It's a environment variable equals to post. So you can also validate whether the data is coming from post or not. So if the data is coming from post, then do the desired actions, otherwise do nothing. So guys, this is also validation. Hope you have understood how you apply validation for all the stuff that you need. Simple as that. Okay, error is not displaying, but leave it right now. We'll display errors after some time, no issues, but because the time is about to finish, so we have to do it very fast. Now after getting the username and the password, what we have to do, we have to specify the select procedure. How can we do that? Let's open the file that we have created, crude, and inside that file we have created a function insert update delete. Okay, now let's create a function here, and you can specify here retrieval. Okay, retrieval, but before creating function, let's do it directly here inside the authenticate.php. So what we can do, we can use these username and password in order to pass the data. So let's first use the query. So that's my query equals to, and I have to pass my procedure, that is call procedure st underscore get login details. Let me write it directly, then we'll convert it into a function also. And here I wanted to pass my username and my password. Simple as that. So what I can do, I can simply write here in single quotes $username, comma, in single quotes $password. Today I am doing directly. This is the same thing that I have done in the previous lectures for insert, update and delete. So call procedure, and then this is the query, and then semicolon. That's it. After completing this, let's execute the query by creating a function result equals to, and here you can specify mysqli underscore query. That is the function that helps us to execute, and then we need connection. So where is the connection? Let us add the connection file, include connection.php, save. You can see connection is here. Now we have to make this connection global. Let's come inside this and write here global $con, save, and you can use this connection now, because by default the variable is not coming. You might have experienced this in the beginning of the series. Then after connection we have to specify the query, and that is this one, query. Okay, now because in insert, update, delete we are sending data to the database, but here in when we retrieve the data, we use something like this, because the data when come from the database to your PHP application, it should store somewhere. So I have used this result, and it becomes an array. Now what we can do, we'll create a while function, while loop. Okay, and specify here $raw and equals to, you can write here mysqli, this is another function, underscore fetch underscore raw. Okay, so mysqli underscore fetch underscore raw. So from where you are getting the raw, from the results variable. So what will happen, all the records that came inside this will be stored inside this. Simple as that. And now you can say logically, when we talk about this this record, so every time with respect to one user and one password, logically it shows me that only one record will came. Okay, so there is no need to apply while loop, but when you know that there are multiple rows coming, then you can use the while. Okay, so let's remove this while loop, because it is not necessarily required here. So simple is that. So one row that is being fetched. Now when the row is fetched, what's the next step? We have to store these things into some variables. Let me show you that. $name equals to $raw of 0, but you can specify the column index and you can specify the column name. So the column name was, let me check it. Let's go to the stored procedures and get login details. You see I have the first column as role ID, so I am copying this column name and I am passing it here, role ID, and make it role ID, one data stored, copy, paste, paste and paste. So arrange it. Now after role ID we have role, copy, you can specify here variable role, here role, and it should be role. Then we have the name and user ID, copy, and it should be name and it should be user ID. So your column names should be appropriate, paste, and here it should be after role ID it should be the name and it should be the user ID. Okay, so role ID, role name, username, user ID, that's it. So these are the things. Now let's echo these things. Echo, just showing you, but things when we proceed till this, then we'll navigate away from this page also. So let's specify an h4 tag, h4 close, and write here dollar role ID. Okay, copy this line and paste it, and paste it. So instead of role ID I am specifying here role, then we have name, and then we have user ID, so user and ID. Okay, arrange it. Now save. Now let's check when the username and password is correct, what is the output, and if the results are not true, let me write here if mysqli underscore raw underscore count, raw underscore that was the function. Let me check. Okay, so that is a function, that is mysqli underscore num underscore rows, and it is asking me the result. So if the username and password is correct, that means that there is something greater than 0, because one row is coming. But if the records are not greater than 0, that means that the username and the password is incorrect. So you can specify else here. I hope you get my point. It will get the number of rows. If you pass the correct username and password, of course one row will be returned and it is greater than 0. Okay, number of rows will be returned from this result. So if the rows are greater than 0, then do the same thing or get the data. Otherwise, if there is no record returned, then you simply display error message, invalid username or password. Okay, save it and let's check it, what's the output. So you see here my username is Ali and the password is 12345, login. You see it is saying that expects parameters to be mysqli underscore fetch underscore row. I think okay, so the error was there. So what I can do, I can simply specify concatenation here. So if I close this and put it in with the concatenation operator, guys, and here let's specify the concatenation operator again, and inside double quotes I am passing this, and then concatenation, and then concatenation close, and then again double quotes, and then double quotes close. So I have joined this part along with the username, along with the password. Now let's check what's the output that we have done, and I'll try to add a while loop also in order to get the result, but let us remove this while loop again. Simple. Okay, now save it and let us check what's the output. okay, it's saying that unexpected bracket where, okay, sorry for that. Let's remove this and apply semicolon because I have removed the loop. Now that's fine. Let's execute and login 1 2 3 4 5, execute. You can see it is saying still that invalid username or password. Let us check why. If we change it to something else, let's try to debug it with echo and see what is the output of this query. Okay, save and go here and refresh. Let's give here username again and password again and see what we get. So the data is call procedure st_get login details. If I copy this code and come here and edit inline again and paste it here and click on the go button, you see that there are errors, so we have to remove these errors. Okay, so get login details and then we have to call procedure name, get login details, and everything is fine. Alright, so the problem is this: we don't write the procedure keyword. Sorry, that's my mistake. So call st_get logins, and now let's check what's the output of this. Save it and come here and preview in Chrome 1 and 2. So you see there is saying that undefined index role ID, undefined index role, and that means our query is now getting executed. Now let's remove this echo query and let's check the other details why it is saying undefined index. If I give here 0, if I give here 1, if I give here 2 instead of names, and if I give here 3, now let's check what's the output of this, because we have written mysqli_fetch_. Save it. Now come and write here Ali and 1 2 3 4 5, execute. You see the data is now coming. That means we have successfully logged in. But if I enter something wrong, then you see it is saying that invalid username and password. That means we have successfully done the user authentication. But now what we should do, we should store this data, that is role ID, name, username, and user ID. And now when we successfully log in, we should redirect to the dashboard, let's say. So if it is admin, then we should redirect to the dashboard. Okay, otherwise we should redirect to somewhere else. So I think that's all for today. Hope you have understood how we write the authentication code and how we validate the code with respect to the data that the user is entering with respect to the trim and the other functions with validate and all that. And today we have also successfully connect our PHP connection also inside this file. So hopefully guys, you have understood this thing. In the next lecture we'll see further steps of this portal. PHP is a huge thing guys, so be patient. We'll trying to I'm trying to create the base. Inshallah we'll cover it up. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.